Think about this for a minute. We are part of a fandom where people will write fanfictions, grimdark fanfictions no less, that are based off a song that was written about a TV show that was made for little girls. Rainbow Factory, the famous, or for some people infamous, fanfiction. It's one of the big three when it comes to fanfictions, the other two being Cupcakes and My Little Dashie. Meanwhile, Fallen Equestria's just on a different level entirely. But Rainbow Factory, some people love it, some people hate it. How do I feel about it? Well, I think it's pretty good, actually. Let's talk about it. First, let's look at Rainbow Factory from a literary standpoint. Now, something that we have to remember here is that at the end of the day, Rainbow Factory is a gorefic. And on the literary scale, the bar for gorefics is pretty low. You can thank things like Cupcakes and Cherylee's Garden for that. But let's see how Rainbow Factory does on this scale. Now, Rainbow Factory actually manages to soar pretty high above the bar set by other gorefics. Of course, it's far from the top, but it's also far above Cupcakes. And what exactly makes Rainbow Factory better than the rest? Well, the simple fact that it actually has a story. Most gorefics just follow the format of, one day, this character went crazy and killed all the other characters in gory ways. But the story of Rainbow Factory is sufficiently more complicated. So already, Rainbow Factory gets points for at least being different, but is it a good difference? Well, I think it is. Rainbow Factory has a sort of grotesquely beautiful contrast between the light and bubbly exterior of Cloudsdale and Rainbows and the dark, evil confines of the factory itself. While I suppose some of this should really be credited to the song that inspired the fanfiction, the song really just sort of implied this contrast, whereas the fiction turned it into something real and specific. And that is the Rainbow Machine, a gigantic meat grinder-like machine made to extract the rainbows, or spectra, from Pegasi thrown into it. There is something, to use the phrase again, just grotesquely beautiful about the process. I'm a huge fan of the whole steampunk horror genre, which might explain why I love Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs so much. And Rainbow Factory taps so much into my love of whirring blades, burning furnaces, steaming pipes, blowing valves, and echoing screams that I just find it enthralling. The story does have its problems, though. The story has a strong social Darwinism/eugenics thing going on that I really don't care for. You see, the problem with this comes from the contrast that I mentioned earlier. The stark contrast between the factory and the rest of Cloudsdale is what makes the story good. But adding on this layer of social Darwinism stuff really darkens the Cloudsdale end of the spectrum, making the contrast much less significant. And that's disappointing. I also don't really think it's what Wooden Toaster meant by social philosophy. Also, while I'm talking about story, can I just point out how even the fandom's gorefics were totally calling it on Rainbow Dash's and Scootaloo's pseudo-sister relationship way before it was actually canonized in Season 3? I just find that funny. Story stuff aside, there's still something else we have to look at. Remember, at the end of the day, Rainbow Factory is a gorefic, so we should expect some gore out of it. And in all honesty, if you're going into this story looking for gore, you're going to be a little disappointed. If it's the gory details you're after, then you're better off going for something like Cupcakes, because Rainbow Factory is sadly kind of lax on the details. Look at this sentence right here. Rainbow Dash grabbed one of Aurora's bandaged wings and pulled, tearing it off her completely. What? That's it. That's all it says. Where are the details? What did it feel like? What did it look like? What did it sound like? I want to read about how it felt to have each feather torn off. I want to read about the sound of the tearing flesh as it pulled apart. I want to read about each little piece of blood and feather and strip of flesh that flew as the wing was violently ripped from the body. I want to read about how it smelled. Excuse me. So yeah, Rainbow Factory is alright.